Alright, it's November 2nd, Saturday, 2019. We got these goats came up and they turn around and they walk back the other way, but they're all there's no one with them, and there's a dog. There's a herd dog, and they're just doing their thing on the side of the road. How funny. Let's see if I can back this up. Very cute. Alright, so here we are working on November 139er Quebec, and what we're doing today are pulling off the little brackets. So this engine only has either 300 hours or 600 hours, but either way, this is a low time engine, and it's pretty good to go. They're the generator bracket, little rubber grommets that just disintegrated on the other engine are a little worn on this one. So they're not too expensive, so I'm just going to order new rubber grommets. The hardware's fine, I think. Well, no, I'll get a new bolt. So I'll get some new hardware for this generator and get it squared away, but it is not in no shape like the other one was. The other one was just gone, all of that stuff. Including stuff back there that it mounts to that you can't see unless you start tearing things apart. So anyway, this engine's had some issues at first getting it going, but they ended up changing the case, put a new case in it, and it's been running good ever since. I think what happens is these are number 32 plugs, and what happens, it's a cold plug relatively. 40 is a nice hot or nice warm plug, but they run these old IO 470s with these 32s, so it's a lot colder plug, and the engine just doesn't get worked hard enough to burn the carbon out, keep it running all smooth. It kind of just got all of it, because it doesn't get hot enough at the right times. It'll just gum up on you, and that's not counting mixture being rich. That's just running a cold plug and not really burning everything the way it needs to be burned, far as the metallurgy of all the components. I'm not talking about fuel and air mixture. I'm talking about the metal and the rings, and it needs to be exercised at an appropriate temperature when appropriately calling for the power, not just whenever you're running. You got to actually put it up on step, make it work, and then the plugs and everything else get in harmony, and these plugs just run a hair too cold for optimum. And I went back and I read the Continental magazine, or Continental maintenance manual, and I can go as high as 37. And I wish I would have known that before I bought these new plugs. These plugs are $30 a piece, and there's 2 plugs per cylinder. So I'm running these 32s, but I'd run 37s in this in a second, and I think it would clean a lot of it up and get good cylinder pressure. Anyway, so here's shop. What I did here is clean out the back of the Dragon Wagon. I'm going to get ready to take that propeller, and I measured it with a tape measure, and I measured inside the car. I'm going to put the propeller inside and drive it to Oklahoma, and then I take that back. I may be going on November 14th to Texarkana. I got to go down to the VA, and then from there I'm thinking about going to Dallas to the Flat Earth Convention. And meet some of these guys I've been listening to. And then head to Oklahoma for a week or so for a few days, working on some of these parts. I can take these parts with me, put them in there too, so it won't just be the propeller. It's going to be other parts and pieces. Well, we're take them to Oklahoma, out there in Tulsa and around, where these guys have shops that just work solely on this stuff. Anyway, so I'm gonna take all this apart today, underneath and up inside, especially this bracket right in here. All of that's coming out. And I've got Ziploc bags, and I'm going to identify with part number each one that comes out. So each one of these parts got a part number and a figure and everything else in the maintenance manual and the parts manual. And I've got the parts manual printed per section. And then I'm going to take each one of these little nuts and bolts and washers and put them in a little Ziploc bag and put the figure, part number, and item number reference from the part manual. And I'm going to clean them, pull them, clean them, look at them, put them in the bag, right, good, bad, or indifferent, but they'll have the right part number on them and the part manual number. That's Henderson, University of Henderson, and they've been flying a lot since school. Well, actually, since school started, there was airport maintenance. There was contractors that came out and worked on this airport and Hot Springs Airport and had the runways closed down, so put them behind schedule. So they're flying whenever they can because of schedule. All right, I think that's enough. And here, I'm not sure to pull that oil adapter off because it's running. It's doing its job. It runs at I just feel it's okay. I don't see it leaking oil, but I'm gonna get a new gasket for it anyway. Fuck. Sorry. I'm gonna pull it. Well, just gotta undo all that. After I check some stuff, I gotta get with Al. That's actually will be on my pay grade. And I'll wait. See, I think I'll just leave it just fine. Get everything back in there, and if I need to, I know how to get in and out. It's pretty easy. I'm gonna leave it as a known quantity. When I start everything else back up, I'm not dealing with an oil pressure issue because it was working fine. And that piece right there is a digital tachometer, and so it feeds the tach speed up to the gauges electronically, not with a little wire. Alright, so I'm just going to take apart the little hardware pieces, nuts and bolts that are wore out, and brackets, taking off the accumulator, or open the cowl flaps. Nope. And then I'll look at what's left and what needs to be ordered and go from there. Alright, cool. So yeah, set up the surgery table. This is how I like to do things. I got things a little too much because I took it all out of the back, but I'm going to store some of the stuff in the plane, some of the stuff in my room, and then have a working bench, like a working man do. All right? Thanks for sticking around and watching. I enjoy doing this, and I hope people get to learn. I mean, there's really, in the aviation world, there's not somebody really doing this. It's a greenhorn willing to put himself out on the FAA world and have the public watch, because this is a big step, because I'm used to flying the little guys, not these big planes, and so this for anybody that's got their private pilot license and they went to school and whatever else, even their commercial, this is a pretty good size step up. I mean, it's not small. So this is actually this, I would call it the smallest airline commuter airplane you can buy, just based on its roughness. Is beefed up. I mean, it's a heavy duty unit compared to light twin trainers. You can single engine fly this thing at almost 8,000 feet. Those single engine trainers sometimes can't fly single engine at sea level. So this has the design, build, and capacity to run as a Part 135, as commercial air taxi. Just like a taxi, call up, I want to fly somewhere, and all right, here's what you get. I give you a quote, and you take the deal, we fly the thing, and you pay the bill, and I pay my taxes and pay payroll and whatever else, parts, I won't see much, and gas, and so I can hang out a shingle, so to speak, for hire, and be for hire. I could be for hire in this airplane and make a little bit of money, which is, you know, I can instruct out of it, but there's not a lot of people wanting to fly twin engine instruction time, unless they've already got their twin and two instructors want to build time. But that's more like a just gentleman's agreement. It's not really a business thing. It's business, but it's just a cost to do it. You're really after your certificate and you're after filling in your logbook, as opposed to owning, operating, and controlling an airplane and its operation. You just want your 100 hours to get hired. Anyway, another gigabyte of video. This is solid airplane. I really am impressed and happy with my involvement in this, because this plane, like I said, is small, the smallest commercial plane you can really get at and do all the maintenance at that level. So if I want to put this out for hire, there's more maintenance yet I need to accomplish or verify or check or inspect and do in order for the plane to be eligible to be used as an air taxi. It can be used for flight instruction, that's not a problem, but for an air taxi operation where you're flying like the islands, that's where we're at. All right. With that being said, I'll let you guys go and have a great day. Thank you.